And we're live. Welcome back to another Corona Geek, where we talk all about mobile app development using Corona SDK. I'm your host, Charles McKeever, and today we're going to continue our conversation around consulting tips for app developers. If you're thinking about becoming a consultant, maybe doing some side jobs as part of your, expand your kitty, your revenue stream, or maybe you want to do something on the side. Somebody's asked you to do something for them, and you're thinking about doing it, then you want to tune into what we're going to have to share here, because everybody on the panel here has experience in one way or another with consulting. And if you haven't had a chance, go back and watch the previous Hangout, number 137, where we actually kicked off this topic and gave out a bunch of tips there as well. So in addition to that, though, we are joined by Daniel Bittencourt from DigiTen Studios, and he's going to throw in on the conversation with us as well about the consulting, but he's also going to share with us some insights into how DigiTen got started. And also we're going to talk about their brand new app, Dig Away, which, if you hadn't played already, is available on iOS and is a fantastic app. It's got lots of fine details, and it's like playing a cartoon. I've said more than one occasion I love playing games that are kind of like playing a cartoon, and Dig Away is fantastic. So we'll have a link in the show notes for that. Go check it out. But you can also, I think you can just Google that, right? You just say, like Dig Away iOS. I mean, it pops right up.
Yeah, it'll show up. We got a decent amount of coverage during launch week and a little after. So.
Awesome. Well, thanks for being here, Daniel. I appreciate it. And we also got your partner in crime there. So thanks for being here. We appreciate it. And then also we're going to talk with Dr. Brian Burton down in Abilene. Ooh. And we got Ed Marino from roaminggamer.com. And then we've got Sergey Ler from spiralcodestudio.com. And then Steven is joining us from the backside of a thumbprint on his webcam or something. I don't know what's going on there. But hey, Steven, thanks for joining us.
Hi.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about what we covered last time. Just so you know, like I said, 137. You can find all the hangouts over at youtube.com/coronageek, and 137 was our kickoff of this conversation about app contracting tips or app development contractor tips, and we talked about screening clients, engaging projects, tracking hours, and billing clients. I mean, it was a great conversation. I think everybody here was excited about the details of it. So we definitely want to pick that up again today. And then if you haven't checked out Hangout 136, we actually started a series we were going to do, or we are doing, a new game development series where we're creating a memory matching game, and we're walking through the whole entire process. So we kind of got sidetracked a little bit by this whole developer contractor conversation, but we're going to get back on track with that probably next week. So if you're wondering what the heck happened to the game development series, it's still in the mix, and we're just taking a little short detour. And let's see, I'm just looking at the notes here. Oh, for April, we are also playing Ketchup's Bounce. So I don't know if you guys have started doing that. There's been several people who have provided their high scores over at facebook.com/coronageek. So if you haven't done that already, here's what you need to do. Basically, check the show notes for the app links. There's two versions there, either iOS or Android. Download it, play it. Get the highest score you can, take a screenshot, and then submit it over at facebook.com/coronageek. At the end of the month, we're going to pick a winner, and that winner will get a $50 gift card. So it's not that hard, and there's the upside to it is you get to play games and actually hopefully win something. So have you guys played that game yet? Have you played Bounce?
Not yet.
He's shaking his head. Sergey hasn't played it. Somebody mentioned that they felt like the ads were a little spammy. Ed, what do you think about that? Have you? Just because they're so close to.
Go ahead.
Just because they're like so close to the tap region, they kind of pop in like you're.
Yeah, I feel like that. I don't like anything where they put the ads right down where you're naturally putting your fingers. That's a cheat.
You think so?
Yeah. I think not so good.
It seems a bit cheap, right? Like a cheap trick. But you also have to understand sort of the developer side is that it's so hard to make money on mobile that people try to get every opportunity and sort of maximize across all their different options.
No, I know where that motivation to put it there is coming from. It's just asked the question as a consumer. So turning off my developer brain. As a consumer, I don't like it.
Right. And there has to be better ways to do it in order to balance out both sides, right? It's not an ideal solution.
The ideal solution is that we leave behind freemium, and that'd
be nice.
But
that's sort of the developer talking, ignoring the market and what people actually want. They want to play free games.
Yeah.
Well, hell with them.
We're talking to developers here.
I take it you have your developer hat back on there, Ed.
Whoa, I better turn off my microphone and my camera. I'm gonna get myself in trouble here. 2 minutes into the show, I'm already cursing.
Well, that's good. But for anybody who hasn't played Bounced, I mean, it lends itself to it. I mean, you're continually tapping on the screen, trying to make the character go to the next level, and then the monetization mechanisms that are available are just to either show interstitial ads or show banner ads or whatever. I mean, you just kind of. It seems like maybe it's not so much as an intention to fool the consumer as it is just the way that the game mechanic goes with the monetization. Maybe I'm being.
And I had that problem with the game from last month, that I would be swiping and slashing to move the dot through the maze, and I would die, and I was still swiping, and I would hit an ad.
The ad that comes up immediately, so you hit it?
Yes.
The other trick technique, bring up the ad right away after they die, so they click it.
Yes.
That comes from Flappy Bird.
Yeah.
So that's what I first saw.
And that's how Flappy Bird made so much money. It's
See, I don't know. I think Flappy Bird had a bigger, deeper meaning in life. I think it really was there to
So you must be one of those people that write comments on their app. It seems like every other review is like this really long review about how incredible the game is.
Yeah. I don't exactly. I don't understand those.
Those are known as paid reviews.
Paid reviews, right? All right. Well, hey, let's talk about a game that's a lot of fun. That doesn't. Well, we'll talk about the monetization here in a minute, but it doesn't have those ads and stuff like that. So let's talk about Dig Away. So Daniel, give us a little bit of background. I mean, tell us about DigiTen Studios. Tell us about your personal experience. Let's find out. Who you guys are.
Sure. So I'm Dan. Davi is my partner in crime over there. He's got the mic muted. He was the artist on Dig Away. I did the development and sort of led the game design. But we're a fairly new studio, and this was our first game. We had been previously working in different places. I lived in Canada for a while. I was working in the games industry there. And we both got to a point where we wanted to kind of take a bit of a risk, but also a next step in our career. And we decided to open up a studio and try to, make games on our own. And so, part of our studio's history has a lot to do with the talk, today's talk about outsourcing and about contract work, because we sort of self-funded development by taking up contract work. And so we would dedicate around half of our time to contracts and then the other half development. And it was really tough. I think it's very difficult to do that successfully. And you also have to be very careful about what you're actually doing for contract work, because you always want to sort of keep your company's objectives and goals sort of in mind. And if those contracts are helping you get there, that's good. But if they're not, it can actually distract you. You can lose time. But then we launched Dig Away last month. It's a puzzle game. It's a cartoon puzzle game. And there's a lot of action and thinking involved, and we think it's a fairly interesting balance. And the premise is you can basically move to left, right, and down. You're always digging and looking for treasure, but you can never go back up. So you have to sort of plan your routes, your descent into the mines, and to make sure you don't miss anything, and later on to make sure you don't get caught in any traps or by any enemies.